Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for the Wrestling Bytes Podcast? Your host, on the site, and Chris Young. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Wrestling Bytes Podcast. I'm your host, on the Psych, as always, with my co-host, with the Mo-host, the best damn referee in the business, at least the best damn referee I've seen in the business in quite a while. And quite frankly, yeah, you're just a damn good referee. Chris Young, how are you doing today, man?
I am doing fantastic for a Sunday night. And yourself?
Doing great, coming off that great interview with Danny Estro. I do have some breaking news that just got confirmed like within the last 20 minutes. I did, out of all the people I got a hold of for interviews in the last 24 hours, got a response from the human hype Jimmy Shallon. I'm trying to set up an interview with him sometime this week. So
nice. We still have a couple other irons in the fire we're working on for this week. Can't reveal any names, but there's a couple of big independent wrestlers out there.
Yeah, I'm definitely still working on some stuff myself. So we'll see what happens there.
Cool.
Well, we're gonna go right into it with reviews today. We're gonna start with independent reviews because you have the results from I believe one company.
That's right, Mr. Chainsaw Pro Wrestling. And just as a reminder, you can submit all of your results on our website, thewrestlingbytes.com. And we'd love to hear from you. Even if you were a fan, just send us the feedback on the event from the show, because we can't be there, but we want to hear what you thought. So let's jump in. Saturday, March 5th, this past Saturday, Mr. Chainsaw Pro Wrestling presented It's Not Just a Phase, Mom, in Kalkaska, Michigan. So in the main event, Mr. Chainsaw Pro Wrestling champion Jamal King wrestled Adam effin Wick. This was a phenomenal match from what I understand. But unfortunately, Adam came up a little short. Jamal King was able to beat him and retain the championship.
Damn it.
I know. Friend of the show,
Adam. Really pulling for Adam Wick in this one.
Yeah. I'm sure a rematch is coming up.
He's a great wrestler nonetheless. I'm sure it was a phenomenal match.
Yep. The Purge, that's Sean Tyler and Kevin Calloway, defeated the prestigious Influence, that's Kyler Coleman and Conrad Lukes. This was a Purge rules match, kind of like an Anything Goes. Uncle Chase Bennett defeated Zach Thomas, Mitch Hewitt, Brutus Atwell, Solo, and Jason Norton in a Ramble match.
Oh, okay.
And because he won, Bennett now gets a match of his choosing in the future. So that's pretty exciting. Uncle Chase Bennett. I'm trying to get him on the show. He's an interesting person. 9 to 5, that's Jack Verville and Lewis London with the hype, Jimmy Shallon, defeated Jack Price and Aaron O'Ryan.
Ooh, GTA.
Yep. And with that victory, 9 to 5 become the new Michigan Chainsaw Pro Wrestling Tag Team Champions.
Congratulations.
Yep. Sam Beal defeated the Dread King Logan. Alex Weir defeated Jason Hotch. And I got a little bit of information on Jason Hotch coming up soon.
I have a little bit of information coming up on Alex Weir coming up soon. So.
Ooh, teasers. Suplex Shogun, Jackson Stone, and the Mysterious Movado defeated the Vet Card. That's friend of the show, Max Morrison, and soon to be friend of the show, the hype, Jimmy Shallon. Unfortunately, after the match, well, I shouldn't say unfortunately, but after the match, Shogun challenged Jamal King for the championship on their next event on April 19th, and Jamal King accepted.
Okay, so hold on. I do have to ask a question real quick before we continue. So, we both definitely have wrestled Max Morrison. Is he an unofficial friend of the show, or have we actually made him an official,
Busted.
Has either one of us reached out to Max Morrison yet?
No. I call him friend of the show just because I know
this
he's
needs
a nice
to be
guy.
on our homework this week. One of us needs to reach out to Max Morrison.
Oh,
and if somebody's listening to this, send Max Morrison to the podcast. Like one way or another, we need to get Max Morrison on this show because, man, it would be great to talk to him. 20 years later?
Pretty close, at least 15. Yeah,
2006.
Yeah.
So yeah, dude, you're looking at some time, bro.
Yeah. 16 years. Ugh. Oh, don't remind me. I think it was later. I was wrestling with him back in 2003. So ugh.
Yeah. Well, I didn't meet him till 06 when I went up with you. So
yeah. But that's why I call him friend of the show because I know he's a good guy. And
he's a good dude. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But we need to actually reach out to Max Morrison. I just need to make it a point.
Max, we heard you on Wrestling Bytes podcast, and he's like, "What?"
He's like, "Who? Jigga who?"
I don't know who that is, but
yeah. Anyways,
whatever.
Anyways, back.
Okay.
Back to like I had to do it.
In an anything goes event, you got me thinking now. In an anything goes match, the super fight beast Justin Kyle defeated Tommy Vendetta. In this match, they used weapons of all sorts. There were doors and chairs and plates and Legos and even a saw. But Kyle was victorious. But after the match, Vendetta had some words for Aaron O'Ryan, and the rest of the DTA came into the ring and pulled the two apart. The president of Mr. Chainsaw Pro Wrestling, Mickey Zero, came out to announce that DTA will settle their differences on April 9th in a DTA scramble. Boom, 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 boom. So if we can get up there on April 9th, that'd
be worth watching. Yeah.
And get everybody together in one room.
I want them together in a podcast. I got to get them all individually to collect them like Pokemon. Like I said, we're going to get them though. I've been reaching out to the DTA slowly.
That was Mr. Chainsaw Pro Wrestling's event on March 5th. It's just not a phase. They announced their next event will be Saturday, April 9th at the Coliseum in Kalkaska. And they had just announced today, actually, that they have signed former AEW wrestler Marco Stunt. So
Marco Stunted growth.
He'll be making an appearance there. So that's
I shouldn't joke. I shouldn't joke. Actually, I give him a lot of credit for being a pint-sized brawler. He should really be part of MCW at the fair in Greenville. Micro championship wrestling. He could dominate a battle royal.
Well, I know Hannah Henderson has linked up with Micro Championship, so she's doing a lot of stuff. She's going to be in Arizona and Oregon. So she's doing good too. But let me finish here. That was their event. You can get more information on Mr. Chainsaw Pro Wrestling if you go to mcpwmerch.com.
Hannah Henderson's another name we should try to get on the show.
Yeah.
She's all over the place, I've noticed. So
yeah, she is getting real popular real fast. Tiny but mighty.
You have caught our attention, Hannah Henderson. You are making waves, and when you make waves, you catch our attention.
Yep. That's awesome. So that's the one local result. Just a reminder again, the WrestlingBytes.com/results. Send us your results. We want to cover them and keep everybody up to date with what's going on. More importantly, if you want to come on and talk about your event, whether it just happened or what is going to be happening in the future, we'd love to have you on and talk about it. Get a hold of us. Send us an email, info@thewrestlingbytes.com, or just bytes.com and click the email button. You can also find us on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok.
We're not on Peacock, but we're on Peacock. We're on TikTok, though. So
yeah, we stay away from the cock.
Yeah, we don't like cock. Anyways, where are we at here? Reviews.
On to the national shows. Yeah. Let's start with Dynamite from this past Wednesday.
Man, we're starting with the best show out of all of them.
Well, we started with Mr. Chainsaw Pro Wrestling, so that may have been the best show.
That's what I said. We started with the best show out of all of them from the way it sounded.
There we go. We opened the show with Tony Khan announcing he had bought Ring of Honor. We've kind of already talked about this during our last episode. I recommend you go back, listen to episode 8. We do talk about that. Is there anything more you want to hit on that?
He doesn't have the rights on HBO Max yet, but he's still looking for a streaming. And the other news that comes with Tony Khan purchasing Ring of Honor, the thing that a lot of people don't understand is they act like he pulled a Vince McMahon and he just bought like the AWA when he just bought like the ECW when he just bought the video catalog for the longest time and then bought all the rights. No, Tony Khan owns everything that was Ring of Honor down to the rings and camera. So. Besides that, he's looking to purchase other companies and video catalogs as well. So it's an interesting time for that. But other than that, that's all I've had.
I like how you said the ring and camera, like there was only one.
Well, I mean, I only ever seen like 2, to be fair. Like they had the ringside cam and then the wide angle. But still, those are some expensive cameras and they're broadcast quality. And I'm sure there's more than 2. I'm just being a
speaking of unrelated but somewhat related. Do you know what happened to one of the WCW rings when they sold it to WWE?
No, what?
It ended up at Booker T, and he uses it as training facility.
That's actually pretty cool.
It is. Yep. Put that away in your nugget, and so one day when you're on Jeopardy and they don't ask, you don't use it.
You know what ring they'd probably give us for free?
Don't say it. Are you gonna say?
No. It was a WCW ring. Like, what was the worst WCW pay-per-view of all time? They'd probably give us the ring.
The one where Warrior came through, right?
Blood?
Bulldog hurt himself. That was 93. I don't know. What was that?
No, I'm talking about like the last year of WCW. Like one of those, like that last Russo pay-per-view. I can't remember the name of it, but they'd probably give us that ring for free.
The last Russo pay-per-view.
Wasn't it like Sacrifice or something like that? Like, I'll have to look it up.
Where Sid broke his leg.
No, that was a good one because that was gnarly.
Yeah, that was.
Anyways, we'll figure it out and we'll talk about it another time. I just they'd probably give us that ring. I don't even know how we got into all that, but anyways, so after Tony Khan was done, we saw a match that surprised me. I was not expecting Christopher Daniels to fight Bryan Danielson. I was very excited at that point.
Yeah, it was a battle of the Daniels. Yeah, it was. It was a Ring of Honor throwback. That was the idea. These were the first 2 to wrestle the main event at Ring of Honor. And it was a good match. It was fun. It was pretty exciting. Since there wasn't much story going in, they made it a good match to watch.
I love the story that they told in this match, and I'll tell you why. And I might get heat for giving this a high rating, but if you give it a low rating, you're going to say it's because Christopher Daniels lacked in certain departments compared to Bryan Danielson, right? No, that was the story they were trying to tell. They were trying to tell a story that Christopher Daniels could not keep up with Bryan Danielson. And it worked. Like, it was fantastically played. I thought it was a great thing. I think what took away from this match was the post match, but
with Jon Moxley.
Yeah, this isn't Ring of Honor. This is okay. Like, when did this become WWE? When we get the cheap pops? Because that's how I felt about it.
Well, I mean, Christopher Daniels is 51 years old, so I mean, he didn't show like he was 51. He wrestled like he was 42 for sure. Shout out to the Phenomenal One. But I was impressed with this match. I gave it a B.
I gave the match a B+, and I gave the promo afterwards a D. But altogether, it probably got a B-. But Then they made sure to give us a point that Sting and Darby Allin are ready for Revolution and Rampage.
So. Gosh, it makes me wonder, what does Sting think about knowing he's going through all this time to put his face paint on, only to be on screen for 30 seconds?
Hey, that's how ICP feels.
Oh, they're on stage a lot longer. Come on.
Yeah, but that's stage. That's a television.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you that. But no, seriously, I wonder if he does it or if they've got a makeup person to do it.
Is that how Ultimate Warrior always felt? Because most of his matches were like 15 seconds.
Well, I mean, at least he's doing something.
Well, he doesn't get around much anymore. The Warrior does. I mean, yeah. It's probably still too soon. Anyways,
what's too soon is part of me thinks this is actually a work, and that the Warrior's just going to come back. It's just so too convenient.
Like Cody Rhodes in AEW. Is he here? Is he gone? Is he going to WrestleMania? Is he going to be in AEW? Is he going to show up in New Japan? Is he going to be the next contestant on The Price is Right? Who knows? We'll find out soon.
Yeah, speaking of that, when we get to Impact, we'll talk about that. Okay.
Yeah, you can show up on Impact. You can show up on Lucha AAA. Conan doesn't want to book Cody. Although he had a great match with Jerry Lawler a couple years ago, man. Anyways, this Casino Tag Team Battle Royal.
25 minutes of excruciating pain. All it was wrestlers sitting around watching other wrestlers do high spots. Ugh.
When Ortiz went after Bear Country and tossed him without like any trouble, I went and made a sandwich.
No. I'm glad you saw that because Bear Country came out during the picture-in-picture and got eliminated 10 seconds after they came back from picture-in-picture.
That's what I'm saying. Santana and Ortiz, they tossed him with like no trouble.
Yeah.
Like it was like no effort. These guys are huge.
Yeah. I don't know who they pissed off, but seriously.
They got eliminated before number 10.
I was entertained because at the beginning Excalibur said,
number 2,
number 10. You get thrown over the top rope and both feet have to hit the floor or the stage, and then people kept hitting the stage, and they're like, oh.
He got the Captain Obvious award. Yeah.
So realistically, when we found out last week that two teams were winning, or two teams were going on. And that way, and then the Young Bucks didn't win. We knew they were going to win this one. We did.
Yeah, it was a given.
Yeah.
It was a given.
Yeah.
26 minutes and 54 seconds.
How long?
26 minutes and 54 seconds.
Yeah, they tried to make it entertaining because Top Flight, they had Darius return, and he lasted the whole time.
But... Yeah, I do have a question, though.
Yeah.
This isn't Double or Nothing. So what's up with the casino thing?
I don't know.
It's annoying. It's annoying. Like, I get the casino thing for Double or Nothing. It's the whole pay-per-view gimmick, but like they carry that stuff along way too far. I'm sorry, but does Donald Trump own this company? What is up with all the casino stuff?
I don't know. Part of me was expecting James Bond to come out since it was Casino Royale.
I just called it the Clams Casino, and then that was it.
All right, so we go to the back. Jericho is pals with Santana and Ortiz now, or so they want him to think.
They are best friends. They are best friends.
And then what everybody was talking about, CM Punk comes out to the ring.
Yeah. Like, here's the thing. I like the seriousness of Punk. He's been spending the last week asking himself if he's the bad guy. This was a great promo.
Yeah.
He referenced the Dean Malenko incident. This was very well done.
Yeah, at first I was thinking he's trying to get like the same award that MJF got last week for pulling at heartstrings and stuff. I was like, okay, I see where they're going. And then he calls out MJF, and this promo kind of took a twist. And I was like, well, I don't know why he called him out.
Yeah, they definitely pulled an M. Night Shyamalan with the twist.
Yeah,
it totally.
Yeah, and when MJF came out and they didn't play his music, it felt real. It did.
Yeah, it did. It felt like it was like they weren't expecting it. I'm sure that they did that intentionally, but it was done very well. The storytelling in AEW has been far superior than any other company I've seen recently. They've been just taken off, man.
Yeah. And then we got to the point where I hysterically started laughing. I couldn't contain myself. And if you follow Wrestling Bytes Podcast on TikTok, you'll understand why. Because MJF holds out his hand for a handshake. And CM Punk holds out his hand, and MJF looks at him and then brushes it away and gives CM Punk a hug. and CM Punk is just not into this hug at first.
Yeah, that was actually a really good spot.
And all I could think of was the movie Tommy Boy. Brothers don't shake hands. Brothers got a hug.
Yeah.
That's all I could think of.
It was a good spot. All in all, I gave it a B+. I think it went on a little too long.
Yeah, and then MJF turns on him, kicks him in the balls, beats the hell out of him.
That's why I got the
bloody pulp.
Yeah,
and we knew it was coming, but I didn't think it was going to be as violent as it was.
When crazy. Did Punk forget the golden rule?
About 6 seconds before that.
So he had this brutal match with MJF a few weeks back, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that have been the time to blade?
I don't know.
Wouldn't that be time to show color more than this spot?
I think they're just tendering it up so he can show color again at Revolution.
Yeah, probably because he's going to overcome. We all know CM Punk's going to win this feud. We know the end result here. And if you don't, I just gave it away. But if I really gave it away, then man, I'm sorry. But
and then the best part, was MJF's line at the end when he's called CM Punk a silly old man.
Yeah.
And for those of you that may not know, that is the exact promo that CM Punk cut 15 years prior in Ring of Honor.
Yep. And the thing is basically Sunday will be a Sunday Bloody Sunday when it comes to those two. That's what they're setting up for. Next, there was a spot with Keith Lee getting interrupted by Team Taz.
Yep.
He's not happy about it, and they're going to see each other at Revolution. Okay.
Yep.
So I have a question.
No.
This is about this next match, and
okay.
I guarantee, Mr. I don't know who Jay White is will not know what the answer to this one. But who the hell is Jamie Hayter?
Some woman.
She just Baker. Showed up one day like she's this tough chick, and I'm like, who is this girl?
I think she was supposed to be the muscle for Britt Baker, and then they hired Mercedes Martinez. Notice I said Martinez, not Mendez.
Britt Baker's bigger than Jamie Hayter is.
Maybe she was a patient. I don't know. I really don't.
Yeah. So this was Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter versus Thunder Rosa and Mercedes Martinez. This match was a match.
There was a lot of double teams, and they focused on doing like stunts and stuff. I didn't care for it.
The only thing I liked in this match was the pinfall and Tony Schiavone freaking out because no. That was the only thing I liked about the match.
I mean, it did impress me a little bit. They showed me some good wrestling. I gave it a C+ because it was a little bit better than what I was expecting, but ultimately I wasn't impressed.
I gave it a C- because basically it was way too many big spots, and it was a very short match for that many big spots, and that's why I got a lower grade in my opinion. To be fair with you, they're trying to make it more dramatic to come into this title match, but I don't think it really helped a whole lot. It just made things more chaotic.
Yeah.
I guess Jade Cargill isn't interested in hearing about Tay Conti's marital status, so apparently Jade Cargill had to hold her back.
Jade managed to give us 3 bitches, a shit, and a damn in the matter of 5 seconds. It was awesome.
That's Dollar General for you.
That's what you get in Dollar General.
Better than Walmart.
Oh man!
You think the people of Walmart are interesting, man? Go to Dollar General sometime at 8 a.m. Blow your mind.
Oh, and then we go back out to the ring, and poor Cesar Baroni, he's got to face Wardlow.
Wardlow's gonna kill you.
All right, so let's take a sidebar here.
Do you want to know how long this match lasted?
About as long as the sidebar.
49 seconds.
Okay, so Wardlow, real quick. The idea is he's getting over squashing rookies. What's Jade Cargill doing? Getting over squashing rookies. What's Serena Deeb doing? Getting over squashing rookies.
Yeah.
Come on. What are we doing
tired.
Here?
Okay, so now you're finally starting to see. You got the net. Oh my God, Chris got the net.
No.
He got the net, ladies and gentlemen. Give him a round of applause. This man finally got the net. Did you get Spectrum, Xfinity? What did you get, bro? Because my Lord.
No.
Been using dial-up from frickin' Access Unlimited for years.
I'm saying, why do you hate it when Serena Deeb does it, but you're okay when Wardlow or Jade Cargill does it?
Was I okay with this?
Okay, you know what? I'll tell you what. You've been on the fence on Jade Cargill, so I'll give you that. But you haven't.
I'm on the fence with Jade Cargill because, see, there's a difference between when Jade Cargill does it and when these other guys do it. Because I didn't tell Tony Khan to give somebody green a title. But if you're going to give somebody green a title, they have to work over somebody. Well, you can't have Jade Cargill working over Serena Deeb. She's got to work over somebody, so she has to squash rookies. She's a rookie herself. Who else is she going to squash? But when it comes to Serena Deeb doing it, Serena Deeb's a veteran. It makes no point. There's no sell for me. When Wardlow does it, it makes no sell for me. Wardlow makes a little more sense sometimes because he's green, but this was horrible. A failed powerbomb into a powerbomb into a powerbomb symphony. The only move that was used in this entire match was a powerbomb. 49 seconds of power bombs. No, it was
something else in there.
There might have been
like 2 hits of offense. There was something.
And then he tried a power bomb and failed, and then it was power bomb, power bomb, power bomb, power bomb done.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, but realistically, you know, what are they building Wardlow up for? I guess we're going to find out.
And then what the hell did Sean Spears have a point of coming out and trying to chair shot a guy that Wardlow just squashed? That reminds me of the Lion King when the hyenas picked off like the easy prey.
Well,
like, oh my goodness!
The idea. That's what
he stopped it. Well, they're trying to show an eventual turn of Wardlow turning face.
Yeah, they're planting too many seeds at this point. Well, in time, the forest is growing.
It's because we've both already said that they're leading into a Wardlow versus Powerhouse Hobbs. Man. It's obvious. Well, they both can't be heels, so they got to turn one of them. So who are they going to turn? Wardlow. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Then there was a rundown of upcoming shows, and the House of Black took credit for turning Pentagon into something so evil. The House always wins. MJF came to see Wardlow. Says if he wins the ladder match, he can even keep the TNT title. It's not like you're going to win it anyways, he says. Like, this was a good little promo. I don't know what you thought about it. MJF slapped him in the face. Like, this is even more pushing that turn for Wardlow.
I thought it was stupid. It wasn't needed.
I think that Wardlow's going to turn at Revolution, and I think that that's what they're setting up for. It's so telegraphed at this point. I like half of the team in the next match. And you already know my opinions on Hangman Page, the Cowboy, and Dark Order. They took on Adam Cole and Red Dragon. I mean, I will give Reynolds some credit in this match. He did a really good job. I can't get behind the Dark Order anymore.
Yeah, I mean, the match, they told a pretty good story where Cole was ducking Page most of the match, and when Page finally got a hold of him, everybody was excited, and, you know, Cole sold the crap out of it. But this is just your typical go-home show, so all the big people that are involved in the pay-per-view are going to be together, and it just turned into a massive cluster of everything.
Yep.
So
this was a typical go-home show for a pay-per-view. You shouldn't expect anything majorly huge to happen, but you should expect a decent show that should be entertaining. And I think TV aspect-wise, this hit the nail right on the head for what they were going for. For you and me, a wrestling fan, we want to see those big leads going into the pay-per-views because we were brought up on great wrestling storylines.
Yeah.
So that's one of the problems with wrestling today, and we've talked about it several times.
Yeah.
Well, all in all, this was a good show. It was entertaining.
Yeah.
Besides that battle royal, it was entertaining.
Yeah, it went up and got your nachos or something during the battle royal would have been good. But
sandwich time, man. That's what I'm telling you.
If you could skip that battle royal, it was a good show. So that was Dynamite. Moving on to Impact from March 3rd.
And we didn't screw up and call it Rampage this time. I'm so impressed. But yes, Ronda Impact. This is another go-home show for a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Saturday was Sacrifice. So this was a Thursday night broadcast, as always. And they do a good job promoting for these pay-per-views. I think it's probably one of the most professional promos that you ever see for a pay-per-view for Sacrifice. And when they play them on Impact, I think it's impressive. Like, they really do a good job production-wise with those. I think TNA's always been pretty good with those. Anyways, I just want to get that out of the way because it was on the top of my notes.
Well, 2 weeks ago, when they were going to No Surrender, the only way they pushed No Surrender, it felt like, was just saying No Surrender this Saturday, No Surrender this Saturday. And with this show, they actually were giving us the stories leading into Sacrifice, so it was nice.
Well, No Surrender is more of like a special show, and Sacrifice is like a pay-per-view. So basically, at this first match, after betraying his Impact Wrestling brethren, Eddie Edwards battled Steve Maclin to kick off the show. This was a pretty jam-packed show, in my opinion.
For the match, Eddie Edwards and Steve Maclin, they were brawling before the bell even began.
Yep.
And once the bell began, it slowed way down and turned into this big chop fest.
It did.
I didn't care for it.
It did. And then I didn't like the fact that this ended in a DQ. I think this match started out with a lot of ferocity and slowed down to a WTF moment and probably gets a D+.
I gave it a C-. Again, Steve Maclin got the win because Eddie Edwards got the cane and started hitting him. And then this actually just led us into the next little bit where Impact and Honor No More kept promos on each other, and that led Heath and Vincent to challenge each other and start the next match.
Yeah, I like Heath Slater's getting more notoriety and Impact. He looks a lot better now than he used to. But yeah, he definitely took the fight to Vincent in this match.
I think this match was slow. I don't know why. It never really picked up pace. It wasn't a bad match. It just kind of was like a slow match. So,
yeah. Well, I mean, he's wrestling Vincent for what did you expect out of this? I mean, for the fact he was fighting Vincent, I thought it was an okay match. I don't think it was great. I think it was okay. It was kind of a slow paced match. It put the momentum over for Heath, and it was somewhat relatable to the story of the main event for Sacrifice. So it got a C-.
Yeah, I gave it a C. Heath ends up getting the victory, and then Moose jumps Heath, lays him out. And then we get to your favorite person.
I knew it's coming. I'm over here dying. Masha Slamovich. Yeah. Oh my God, this woman needs to retire. This is the biggest train wreck. You should see the still shots that I see for her. It looks like the Red Queen from Alice in Wonderland had sex with the boogeyman.
Oh gosh.
And had a child. Oh, this is one of the worms. I don't know what's going on with this Masha Slamovich.
Okay. All right. Just okay. There's been some uproar where people thought that this should have been cut from the show because of the recent political things that are going on with Russia and the Ukraine and everything. And my personal opinion, I don't think it should have been cut. First off, this is professional wrestling. Yeah, they did change her finishing move. They didn't call it what they normally did. The what is it? Russian.
So political aspects aside, Masha Slamovich should not be wrestling on TV for Impact.
Yeah, but yes, this match should have been cut for other reasons, not political reasons.
Yeah, this like every other Slamovich match got a D-.
She's wrestling Rachel Rose, and I gave it a C because it was exactly what you were expecting this to be. So Masha Slamovich gets the victory. Yeah.
Slamovich into those pants. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's just horrible. It's just horrible. Okay. Anyways, enough about Masha.
Yep.
Violent by Design. Go ahead. I'll let you do
No,
it.
go ahead. That's what I was going to say.
Violent by Design. They come with this idea of enemy of my enemy is my friend. Mentally ahead of the main event. It's a nice touch.
Yeah.
Shows are always, I like Eric Young.
Yeah. Yep. They're setting up the main event. They're going to team with Gorillas of Destiny.
Yep.
To take on the Bullet Club. Makes sense. And then the Influence and the Madison Rayne from the Influence comes out to wrestle Cassie Lee. And I will use that term lightly because Cassie Lee was terrible in this match. Terrible.
Which is crazy because the artist formerly known as Peyton Royce is usually a pretty good wrestler. So it was kind of a sad.
Yeah. I don't know what it was, but she just looked bad. It was an off night for her. And then the worst part is she gets the victory. Ugh.
I'm just not a fan of any of the four of these. Madison Rayne, Tennille Dashwood, Lee, and I don't remember what Billy Kay's name is now, but Jessica McKay.
Yep.
Oh, jeez. That girl talks, and I want to just die.
Well, really, the whole reason they're having this match is just to keep this storyline up with Caleb with a K. So it was there. Cassie got the victory. Moving on.
I could care less about Caleb with a K either. So,
Yeah. Let's see. Mickie James comes out to be on commentary for the next match because her buddy Chelsea Green is taking on Tasha Steelz,
who is her direct
one contender for the Knockouts championship at Sacrifice.
Yeah. I haven't seen a lot of her work, but Tasha Steelz is a very impressive wrestler. I instantly wanted to see more of her.
I thought this was the match of the night.
Yeah, 100%.
Although the start was a little weird, it didn't make much sense to me. It just seemed off, but then they kind of reset and got back into it again.
Yeah,
but yeah, it was a good little match.
I think that this match set up for Sacrifice, and it's set up to give Mickie James the toughest opponent, which was Tasha Steelz. I know they've had a match a few times before. This is like her rematch with Mickie James, apparently. But out of these two, I would much rather see Steelz than Chelsea Green in the match for the women's championship at Sacrifice. So,
yep, and that's what happened. Tasha Steelz ends up getting the victory. So she'll be wrestling Mickie James at Sacrifice. And if you haven't caught on now, we're kind of blowing through this show pretty fast so we can cover Sacrifice.
Yeah. The next match we don't even have to get much into if you don't want to. It was Johnny Swinger and Jonah pretty much squashed him. It was a good squash though. I gave it a B- because like it definitely was supposed to show the physicality between like PCO and Jonah. So for him to come in physical was what they needed to do.
Yep. And then PCO comes out and Jonah tries to squash him, but PCO doesn't let him.
Yeah.
So yep. Just shows you that it's gonna be a battle at Sacrifice. We get to the main event, the Bullet Club versus God and Violent by Design. This is a no disqualification. Oh, what? We haven't got there yet. Whoops.
Yeah. That's okay. The Gorillas Destiny boiled over early into Thursday's main event. It forced Scott D'Amore to emerge from the backstage area and announce that this would be contested under no disqualification rules.
Yeah.
This was a crazy match. These guys were, I don't know. I had a hard time keeping up with this one for a minute.
Thank you.
And it was too many guys trying to get their spots in.
Yeah. Yeah, this match was kind of like a lucha style match where as soon as two people left the ring or somebody left the ring, another person came in, and that was like the quote unquote legal person.
Yeah.
There were not tags. It was just mass chaos of craziness.
Yeah, if you're one of those people that likes those good old school chaotic crazy matches, you'd love this match. If you're a wrestling fan that likes a straight up matchup, you're probably going, this is just another one of those squabbles.
Hey, I went to one of my local big box hardware stores today because I had to purchase a new front door. Do you have any guess where I put it until I can install it?
Did the elephant break your door?
No, he didn't fit through the door. That was a problem.
Okay. Where?
Under the ring. Somebody put a door under the ring. Come on. Really? Like, who's putting a door under the ring?
Yeah, I don't know.
If you're going to battle to the back, then why don't you leave the door in the back? Because that's what ended up happening. They were battling in the back. They ended up battling outside of the building, and that's how the show went off the air. But come on. A door under the ring? That's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it was trying to set up for the pay-per-view, but it didn't work very well.
Yeah. I gave it a D+. I didn't care for it. This was a lot like Rampage or Dynamite. There you go. You got me doing it again. This was a lot like Dynamite, where everybody who's involved in kind of the main event is mashed in there.
This is the typical go-home shows of late, and I feel like wrestling has lost the go-home mentality because they're just trying to protect their athletes for the last show before the pay-per-view at this point. It's like the last season of the NFL season. Anybody who's in the playoffs, you're not going to see any starters.
Even though these people aren't in the quote-unquote main event, these are most of the people that are on the pay-per-view, so they're just getting them out there for name recognition. Didn't do much to sell the feud, I thought.
They didn't do much to get buys on this pay-per-view either, and they do pay-per-views, so that's kind of what bothered me about it. But
yeah, they'll be lucky if they break 9,000 buys.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I do want to note one thing. The production of this particular event seemed very off. There was a lot of camera shots where they were cutting off people's heads or had gone in a little too tight and you couldn't see their legs or anything. It was just to me, it seemed off as kind of a technical person who watches stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody caught that.
Yeah. And then we had my least favorite show of this entire review set was SmackDown.
Yeah, that was Impact.
Yeah. On to sleep time. I mean SmackDown. And it was a better
SmackDown from March 4th, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, from the FTX Arena, Miami, Florida.
Yep. Okay, we're on the same page.
Yeah, at least we're on the same page. So
we started off the show with the match of the night, Sami Zayn versus Ricochet for the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah. I think that it's good to take it off of Sami Zayn so that way he doesn't have to fight Johnny Knoxville for the IC strap. I think Ricochet deserves the title. I think this match fell short for me a little bit. It got a C+. It was okay.
Well, yeah, this match was back and forth. Nobody really established who was going to be the dominant person, which was actually a good part of the story because what ends up happening, Johnny Knoxville comes out, distracts Sami Zayn, and Ricochet gets the victory. 1, 2, 3, new Intercontinental Champion. So the story and the match looked like they were going to go 25 minutes, but at the 10-minute mark, that's when Johnny Knoxville comes out. And I just want to say, if you go back a couple episodes ago, we were talking about this, and I said there was no way Johnny Knoxville was wrestling Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental Championship.
It looks like that's what they were setting up for up until now, though.
But you're right. That's what they said. He said, I wanted a shot at the title, and now they're going to wrestle at WrestleMania.
I'm hoping that creative came to their senses with that one, because my God.
Well, they're doing unification, so the U.S. title is going to be unified with the the Intercontinental. So
And who just won the U.S. title too? Somebody prominent.
yeah, we'll get there.
Finn Balor.
Yeah, Finn Balor won it. So Finn and Ricochet are going to tear the roof down.
And Finn Balor will unify those titles.
Yeah. So that's
they owe it to him.
I gave it a B-. Again, match of the night. You should go watch it, and it was pretty darn good. And then we got this recap of Pat McAfee and Vince McMahon, and Vince offered Pat an opportunity to wrestle at WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. And then everybody was hyping who's going to be his challenger, who's going to challenge Pat McAfee. And completely unrelated, Austin Theory comes out. Well, Austin Theory is the one who's going to be wrestling Pat McAfee at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I liked the line when he said, will McAfee be so happy when his jaw's wired shut? Yeah. That was a pretty good line.
Yeah.
And that led into what, Naomi and Carmella?
Mm-hmm.
This was a quick match that was chaotic with some interference, and Naomi got the win in 2 minutes and 7 seconds.
Yeah, it started slow, picked up a little bit, and then Naomi got the victory.
Then we had a ridiculous poker promo with Happy Corbin beating Madcap Moss and some other people at poker and bragging about WrestleMania success. And how he's going
to... the best part
the impression
is when they cut back to the ring for Drew McIntyre. And Pat McAfee goes, I wonder how Happy Corbin won when he didn't have any cards.
Yeah,
totally calling him out.
Yeah, I did notice that.
Oh yeah. So the idea is here they're watching the Drew McIntyre match, because they're getting ready to wrestle Drew McIntyre soon, and so Drew's taking on Jinder Mahal.
Did you see this commercial?
Oh God, not again! The Toyota commercial.
They had another one. This was another one. This time Rick Boogs and Shinsuke were walking through the woods.
I can't take it serious. Oh my God.
Oh, dude, it's too much. I don't know what the hell they're thinking. They're so bad.
Do you want to go on another adventure with me? Yes. We're gonna get another one next week.
Yeah, I know. These surprisingly are better than anything we've seen from Veer Mahan or the promos for Alexa Bliss returning to Raw. So, I mean, I will give it that.
I kind of want to buy a Toyota so that we keep seeing these. I know it won't do anything, but
that just means the commercials are getting to your brain, my friend. You need to not get the net anymore. You need to unsubscribe to the net.
They should have put this on during the Super Bowl.
They really should. They really should have. So obviously Drew McIntyre is already in the ring. Jinder Mahal comes out with Shanky. I don't know why his name's Shanky, but his name's Shanky. You know, Jinder Mahal is a pretty solid wrestler nowadays, but he doesn't get any of the respect I think that he should. This match was okay.
Yeah, it was exactly what I was expecting. It was average. It was nothing good, nothing bad about it. It was quick. Drew McIntyre got the victory.
Yep.
And then he gave a post-match interview where he wants to take somebody out.
Yeah.
Well, he wants to take out Happy Corbin. Or Madcap. I can't remember
which is not a match I want to see at WrestleMania.
Yeah. I don't know. We said this last week that this is over. They need to do something else with these guys.
So I'm gonna bust out the next two quick segments here. Actually,
sure.
Maybe three. So then we go back to the poker game. Corbin doesn't like Moss's jokes, which nobody did. McAfee is happy that Ronda Rousey is going to wrestle tonight. Then we look back at last week's contract signing between Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. Is that all regurgitated to you, or is that all stuff that I've heard like 16 times now?
Yeah, we went.
Yeah,
I think it was about 32 minutes between the Jinder Mahal match and then the next match with the Usos and Viking Raiders. Because after all that shenanigans, we go to Shinsuke Nakamura entrance.
And Rick Boogs coming out.
Yeah.
And the Usos jumped him.
I know. I'm like, man, what is with these guys? They just attack people from behind.
And then Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns and the Bloodline, they go out to the ring, and Miami's happy to see Roman Reigns because he's like a hometown boy.
Yeah.
And blah, blah, blah. Brock Lesnar, blah, blah, blah. Tribal Chief, blah, blah, blah. Brock Lesnar, blah, blah, blah. Tribal Chief. Okay, is that about it?
Pretty much.
Spoiler alert. Roman Reigns is going to win. Spoiler alert. Tribal Chief. Okay.
So then the Usos are getting ready for their match against the Viking Raiders. Finally, we get to see this match.
Which their main insult in the promo was that they're fat.
Yeah.
And it wasn't PHAT fat either. They said FAT. It's hurtful.
So I had high expectations for this match, and most of them were met. I was very impressed with this. I didn't care for all the blind tag spots and the double teams, but that's pretty much wrestling nowadays in tag teams. So I take it as it is. The Viking Raiders showed me a lot. This match was good. I think it was probably a pay-per-view caliber match.
Yeah, I think so. They did a good job. They finally didn't squash the Viking Raiders for once. So yeah.
The Usos end up getting the victory.
Yeah.
Which means that they don't have an opponent for WrestleMania. And since they attacked Rick Boogs and Shinsuke Nakamura just prior to that, Nakamura doesn't have the title anymore. That means it's going to be them against the Usos at WrestleMania.
Right? Yeah, pretty much.
Or they've actually been planting seeds about unifying the titles to SmackDown. I don't know. It can go either way.
Yeah, there was too many near falls in this match. It's too much. Then there was a promo with New Day. They rode around backstage.
Yeah. With the ATV.
Yeah. And then during the break, Sheamus and Holland destroyed the ATV. Then we had to watch Ricochet win the Intercontinental title again. And then Johnny Knoxville accepted Sami Zayn's WrestleMania challenge. And then Madcap Moss and Howard were playing darts, and McIntyre stabbed the board with a sword, and they ran away. Then we went back to Ronda Rousey's interview with Charlotte and Sonya. And then we finally got to Ronda Rousey versus Sonya Deville.
Well, I mean, you missed. There was supposed to be a match between Big E and Sheamus in there.
Was there what? I didn't even.
There was supposed to be a match, but it didn't happen because Sheamus and Rich Holland ended up stealing the ATV, bringing it back into the outside and destroying it. So
that's why I said they destroyed it. That wasn't.
They teased it, but yeah. Then we get the Sonya Deville Ronda Rousey match, which Ronda's limited. She can't do much. And, Sonya is a part-time wrestler, so she can't do much either. They brought Charlotte out to do commentary.
This was a short match. It needed to be short. It got a C- at best.
I gave it a C because it was pretty much exactly what I was expecting. Sonya ends up tapping out to Ronda.
So, yeah. Here's the thing. And this is I've waited to the end of the show to say this. But, a lot of people are going to say, oh, SmackDown was pretty decent this week. SmackDown was horrible this week, in my opinion. And the reason why it's horrible is because it's the same regurgitated crap week after week after week. We're on the road to WrestleMania. Build some suspense. We're watching these wrestlers face each other almost directly. Let's see. I've seen Ronda Rousey in a match with Charlotte Flair in a tag match. Was it last week at the pay-per-view? Onward. Like, at what point do you get tired of watching the same people fight the same people over and over and over again? Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss, Drew McIntyre. It's all the same regurgitated crap over and over and over again every week, and it's just bland. Well,
when I talked about Monday Night Raw last week being like terrible and I didn't care for it, and a lot of people called me out online for that, I went back and I started looking at the rosters for Raw. And when you look at the roster for Raw and you look at the roster for SmackDown, we're seeing 90% of the people on the roster on these shows. So we're getting the same people over and over again. It used to be that they had so many people that they could give us a variety
that's over with.
every week, but they don't have that roster depth anymore for Raw and SmackDown for some reason.
No.
So we're getting the same stale stuff again and again and again. They're not bringing anybody in new to kind of hang out and show us something different, or at least give us a different feel of different wrestlers. It's the same people over and over again. I didn't think SmackDown wasn't that bad this week. It's one of the better ones for the last couple of weeks, but yeah, I see where you're getting at, but I don't think they can go anywhere else.
It's bland. They need to throw up the matches for a while. Maybe keep each other away from each other for a week or two. Cut these storylines up a little bit to where you actually want to see them back in the ring. Like tease them coming out, causing DQs or interferences, but to literally have them facing off directly and indirectly with the people that they're related with over and over and over again. We've seen this from the pay-per-view. We've seen this at Royal Rumble, and it's just gotten to the point where I want to bash my head through some drywall.
Well, I think maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe they're unifying all the titles so they can just go back to just having two shows and not have two different brands and just.
See, I thought you were getting that. Maybe you thought that they wanted me to drive my head through some drywall.
Well, some of us would like to see that. But I mean, and then you've doubled the size of your roster, and now you have essentially two shows that you can feature the top people and then have support players, and then you can change some of those out with the NXT people. Yeah, and, there's a lot of opportunity there if you're going to do the unification. So, finishing off SmackDown, Ronda gets Sonya to tap, and then she turns her attention to Charlotte, and Charlotte gets in the ring. The whole idea, Charlotte was ripping Ronda as a one-trick pony, and then Ronda ends up rolling through and putting the ankle lock on Charlotte, and Charlotte immediately starts tapping. The best part was that Ronda didn't turn that ankle at all, and then ended up taking off Charlotte's shoe.
No, the best part was when I seen the SmackDown credits in the corner and the show stopped. That was the best part of this show.
Yeah.
The show was horrible.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You get a D+, you get a D+ SmackDown.
I don't think it was that bad.
Waste of 2 hours.
Come on. Well,
we could just get to WrestleMania at this point because it's gonna be a D+ show at best. It's gonna be relatable to WrestleMania 33. It's going to have high expectations and deliver low.
We can debate WrestleMania later because I've got a lot of opinions on 2-day WrestleManias.
I have a lot of opinions on a crappy WrestleMania again. But we'll get there.
That was SmackDown.
Yeah, that's enough of SmackDown.
So past Saturday, the 5th of March, Impact presented Sacrifice.
Sacrifice I had very low expectations for. I'm not going to lie. The builds to this were somewhat meek at times. They had a great video package to open the show. But before that, there was 2 matches in the pre-show, which featured Lady Frost defeating Giselle Shaw by pinfall. This was a pretty good match. There was a couple miscues in this one, but it was pretty entertaining, and it did a good purpose as the first match of the night. Following that was a contender for match of the night, but didn't win match of the night. I gave this match a solid B+. Was Rich Swan and Willie Mack taking on Mike Bennett and Matt Taven. All 4 of these guys worked well together in the ring. This match flowed very well, and the finish was very well put together.
I didn't watch anything on the pre-show, so I have no idea.
That was a great match on the pre-show. If you were to go back and watch anything there, Rich Swann and Willie Mack and Mike Bennett, Matt Taven. I'm a big fan of Matt Taven's work. He's a good wrestler. He's a good heel as well. Then we had that video package, and we went live to Old Forester's Paris Town Hall in Louisville, Kentucky. I believe that's where they used to do the old Smoky Mountain Wrestling shows.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
This featured first match of the night was Trey Miguel versus Jake something for the Impact X Division Championship.
Jake who?
Jake something.
What? Jake who?
I know, we've done this. We've done this Parade of Pony show before.
Yeah. Trey Miguel's the X Division champion.
Yeah. And this match was okay for an opener. I think they tried a little too hard to do the back and forth thing throughout this match. Too many false comebacks.
It was almost a contrast in styles.
I think it was. And any guy who uses a Meteora, I instantly lose credibility for, unless you're a smaller guy.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a bad match. It just wasn't. It wasn't good.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
gave it a C.
Trey Miguel regained his championship, and yeah, it was just an average match.
Yeah.
Then we had a promo from Tasha Steelz, who cut a pretty good promo against Mickie James. Tonight they're going to sing the same song and vows to sing the song of her becoming the new champion. She was trying to set the scene here, and I think she did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
Then we had one I was looking forward to until I watched it: Rhino versus Eddie Edwards.
Yeah.
This was an interesting match. It had the turn.
Eddie Edwards versus Rhino. So Team Impact is on Rhino's side, and Honor No More's on Eddie Edwards' side. We started the match pretty fast. It slowed down, and then Maria tries to give the cane to Eddie Edwards. The referee sees it and then throws out Maria. Doesn't take the cane away, but throws out Maria. So, and that's when it slowed down, and it stayed slow, and it's so sad. You know, we knew Rhino before he hit it big 25 years ago, and to see him in this condition, it's almost sad.
Yeah, dude, he struggled in this one. I didn't want to say it. I wasn't gonna say it, but since you brought it up, I'll definitely hit on it. I give him a lot of credit for being out there, being a bigger guy at the age he is, but man, he really struggled in this one.
And he's still wrestling without knee pads. God bless him.
I know. Remember the Will Williams discussion about knee pads?
Yeah. The janitor. Gosh.
Oh my, he actually looked like a janitor though.
I think he was a janitor.
I think he was.
But I mean, this match just turned into like a chaos of crap outside. You know, eventually they really just stop wrestling in the ring, and they're just watching Honor No More and Impact do high spots on each other outside of the ring.
Until Macklin came out and turned on Team Impact.
Yeah, Macklin comes out, grabs the cane, and smashes Rhino.
Eddie Edwards wins by pinfall. Okay, I guess maybe that was what it was for, but overall, this match was like C-.
D+.
I was trying to be kind.
If you want to be kind, then why don't you? Never mind. Moving on. The influence versus the inspiration for the Knockouts tag team title.
My least favorite match of the night. This match fell flat. There was a couple big miscues, and I'm not even going to point them out. Again, it was an off match for Jessie McKay and Cassie Lee again. I think Madison Rayne kind of had to carry this match.
See, I'm a little bit in a different boat on you. I was pleasantly surprised with this match. The idea here is Caleb was not allowed at ringside, and I took back my comment earlier. I thought Cassie Lee showed me something in this match. She was actually wrestling pretty darn well.
Well, they look better than her singles match. She does work better in a tag team, but there was just some stuff that really felt off to me personally.
Yeah, the match started off well, and then they started all this weird double teaming stuff for like no reason, and then it kind of became a mess. And then at one point in time, Cassie Lee ended up staying down for an extremely long time, and then she finally crawled her way up to get the hot tag, and then it was like nothing had happened. She wasn't hurt or anything. She was like Superman, just poof.
I didn't like the fact that Tennille Dashwood hit her finisher and still couldn't get the pin, and then had to use the title. Like the finisher should have that's where the match should have ended, and I didn't like the finish.
Well, see, now I love the finish. I like the idea that that didn't bring the finish, so that made you think that the inspiration were going to win. That's when Caleb comes out and he
Yeah.
goes to throw the title into the ring, and it looks like he was trying to give it to the Inspiration, but it slides past them and goes to Madison Rayne, who picks it up and ends up using it. It's a good story. It was well executed. I think the finish is what brought this match up a little bit for me. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good.
I was not a fan of it. We had after that.
Morrissey
Well, there
comes
was
out and breaks the table. Brian Myers' commentary table. He'll
he
never
was trying to
commentate.
sell. He was trying to sell wrestling figures. That was kind of funny. Big
It's just like
Cassidy, Morrissey.
buy my merch. Buy my merch.
Yeah. Then we had PCO versus Jonah, which was, in my opinion, I kind of like this match. This was two tough dudes going at it. This was like two proverbial big men. PCO is just a guy that can take a beating, and man, he's been around. He was, and his style is always slow. Like his movement is slow, and you could tell that he definitely is fighting some injuries. I don't know if you noticed this, but his back's definitely messed up. Definitely
There's
messed up.
something wrong with him, because when he lays flat, his chest is 7 to 8 inches higher.
It's his back. It's his back,
so
bro.
Weird.
Watch when he goes in and out of the ring. You can it's a labored effort.
If he had a brace on or what, but it's so weird.
It's his back is just screwed at this point. But still, he kept up with Jonah, and the PCO hits moonsaults, all sorts of crazy stuff. So, they definitely let PCO look strong in this match, as well as let him put over Jonah. So, I think this was a better match than anything we had seen to this point in the regular card.
I hated this match. I thought it was ridiculous. I thought it was nothing but high spots like Hurricane Rana, superplexes, tombstone pile drivers, a power bomb, off the steps. It was nothing but chops. It was a big brawl outside for a very long time.
But
I get the story.
That's what they were promoting. That's what they said was going to happen in this match, and they delivered exactly what they said they were going to do. They said they were going to beat the bejesus out of each other. They said that this was going to be a match where two guys were going to try to destroy each other, and they did exactly that. Like, I liked it because it actually they actually said what they were going to do and went out and did it. Even if the match was a lot of high spots, what do you expect two big guys to do? They're not gonna get in there technical Dean Malenko wrestle. I mean, you're not gonna see.
I want a story. The story here was that PCO was unstoppable no matter what Jonah did.
That's what the story was. It was the immovable object against the unstoppable force.
But you can get away with that story and not have to do all these high spots.
I will give you that.
Things.
I will give you that.
I mean,
this was in no way the match of the night. I'm just saying that it was a decent match for what they did.
They chopped each other 45 times.
I know, and it went on too long, and I put that down. I still gave it a C plus though. I gave it a little bit of above average grade.
To me, this was the worst match of the night. D plus.
Yeah, the worst match of the night, in my opinion, was that women's tag match. But
yeah, we've just got opposite views on that.
Yeah, I know.
And again, I'm not bashing the wrestlers. I think they did a tremendous job out there. It's just, to me, this was not my type of match. I didn't care for it.
Well, the match of the night was next.
Absolutely. We both agree on
that. The
match
of the night was next. Alex Shelley taking on Jay White. This was literally where the fans were split down the middle. They were chanting the names. Like, this match had great chain spots. This match had high spots at a good point. There might have been a little excessive in the high spots at point, but to be honest with you, this was one of those dream type of matches where you actually catch Jay White and Alex Shelley in the same company. Alex Shelley has been a phenomenal athlete for many years and has produced some great work. I'm glad he isn't doing that Book of Dilly Gaff stuff anymore, but there's that. But no, this was a great match. There were some great spots in here.
This match built well, and it was a very good match. They told a nice story, some good psychology in there. But I almost feel like it fell flat towards the end. Like, by no means was it a bad match. This was a very, very good match, but maybe I was just expecting something and didn't get it, so I felt disappointed. But overall, I gave it a B. I mean, it was a very, very good match.
Yeah, I gave this an A-. I think the end of the match had to show them both kind of being more gassed after everything they went through at that point, because this was a brawl. These guys went at it for a while.
Yeah.
So for them to have a fast-paced finish just wouldn't have made sense to me. But he wouldn't shake Alex Shelley's hand after the match.
Yeah, I was mocking him. It was good.
That's cocky Jay White for you.
Yep.
Switchblade. Eric Young did a pretty decent promo about Violent by Design taking on the Good Brothers. He's a weirdo, and it shows, and it resonates very well.
Yeah,
he's always been a weirdo. It is what it is. The next match was a fairly good match as well. The virtuoso Deonna Purrazzo took on Chelsea Green for the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship in a Champions Champ match. Which
it was very good. It was a very good match. This was my second favorite match of the night.
Yeah, unfortunately, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say Chelsea Green can really go, and it was fun.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
She's a great wrestler, and these two together meshed very well. Their styles intertwined very well.
Yeah.
I was really enjoying this match. I like the sunset flip from the top turnbuckle with the kick out to the cover. I don't like a lot of changeover pins, but this one just, I don't know, it kind of worked for the spot that they were working it in.
The finish to me was a little out of place, but when we get into the next segment, it makes perfect sense. So Deonna gets the submission by basically breaking Chelsea's arm.
Well, right before, I don't know, did you notice before this? I put this in my notes. So when Chelsea reversed it and locked her in an armbar right before the end spot of the match, Deonna put Chelsea Green in this like little flip move, and she landed on her wrist. I don't know if you noticed, but the referee threw the X sign up.
I did catch that for just a second.
No, so at that point, I already knew that Chelsea Green was injured. And as soon as that happened, the finish went on. This match was supposed to go longer. Promise you.
I think it's a story. It's all story.
I don't think so. Because I'm pretty sure reports are coming out now that she actually got hurt at this pay-per-view.
I don't think so.
I'd have to go back and double check it, but I think it was confirmed that she actually was hurt and it wasn't a work.
I think it's all story. But even if it wasn't, let's just play with what we saw on the TV. Yes, the referee threw up that X symbol, which was the opportunity Deonna needed to throw on the finisher and then essentially do more damage and get her to tap out, which is good story. And it seemed odd, but then it leads us into the next thing where Tasha Steele immediately comes out because it's her match against Mickie James, and Mickie James has come out to check on Chelsea Green, and now Mickie James is distracted because Chelsea Green took a long time to get to the back, and Mickie James was more focused on Chelsea Green than Tasha Steele's.
Yeah, for sure. Then we had Tasha Steele versus Mickie James in the Impact Knockout title. This match was a decent match as well. I think that there was a lot of spots in this match that were done very well. But at the same time, I think this match took way too long to get to the conclusion. I could be wrong, but that's just my opinion.
Well, that's that. I think, maybe the match went about 2 minutes too long, but that was the story they were telling, was the fact that, Tasha was so close and so close and so close, but Mickie keeps, fighting back. And then eventually Tasha does get the victory. So, I thought it was a good match, and they told a good story, and it all tied in to everything that was going on. And this was essentially the rubber match between them. I don't think we'll see a rematch. I think Tasha will go on to wrestle somebody else. But it was good, and I enjoyed it.
I like the cutter to finish the match. I think that Tasha Steele has proven to be the big heel in the company right now, and she deserves to run with the title for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was botched a little bit, but it was difficult to time it because Mickey was jumping off the top rope.
Yeah, and it was. I gave this match a C plus. It was still a solid match, regardless.
Yeah.
Then we had the Good Brothers taking on Chris Bay and with Chris Bay versus Violent by Design, Eric Young and Joe Doring with Diener for the Impact World Tag Team Championship. I like the Good Brothers. I think their work's pretty solid.
Yeah, they're good. I do. I think they're solid.
I think this match was another solid match. It was entertaining, in my opinion. It might have been a little short for what the end result was, but other than that, it was a pretty solid match.
Yeah, there was nothing too crazy in this match. It was there. It was pretty much what I was expecting. I did get surprised that Violent by Design did win the titles.
Yeah, I was shocked that they took the belts, but
yeah,
they did. And then Anthony Corelli joined the commentary team for the main event. And Moose came out. Now, you know my opinions on Moose. Normally, I crap all over Moose, and I call him big, dumb, and can't wrestle. But tonight, Moose showed me something. Showed me a little something. I mean, Heath Slater had a pretty decent match. I still don't believe or have a believable thought in my brain that thinks that Heath Slater should be wrestling for a world title. But he did a good job. And there was a couple of miscues with the corner spots, but other than that, this was a pretty good match. For Moose, this was an excellent match.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I was quite surprised how good Moose did wrestle and how long they were actually able to keep up a good pace. So I enjoyed it.
Yeah, Moose has definitely been learning, and it shows. I think they put him in the title run too early, but now he's finally starting to feel a groove. And, obviously Moose retained against Heath Slater.
Yeah. Yep.
Josh Alexander came out and hit Moose with a pile driver.
What? Wait a minute. I thought he was like his visa had been denied and he was back in Canada.
I don't know.
What?
The guy who comes off like an amateur hockey player is back going for the title.
See, and this is
why he signed a multi-year contract with Impact.
Chelsea Green injury, even though she's posted that she had a wrist injury. That's why I think it might be a semi-work because they're doing stuff like that to keep it interesting.
Yeah, and it sets up for Moose versus Josh Alexander for the Impact World title at Rebellion, and I'm already rebelling from Rebellion now.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a good story. They are really knocking it out of the park with their storylines.
Yeah, and they've been able to tell better stories, and that's one of the things. Like each one of these matches were set up, and the weekly shows have been a little lame, but the pay-per-view was definitely high energy. It definitely was exciting, and none of the matches except the one that we graded a low grade, they were all above average. So
yeah, no, the pay-per-view overall was good. It was worth the watch, I think.
Yeah, for sure. It was definitely worth the watch. And on the next episode, we have to go over Revolution.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Revolution.
We'll do that on our next episode. And what happened on Rampage prior to that.
Rampage and Raw and NWA Power Trip.
Yep. But overall, I mean, I don't have anything else to say on Sacrifice. Do you?
I'm good.
All right. Well, that was Sacrifice.
All right. So I don't know if we have, or do we have upcoming shows to promote? Or
real quick, there's 3 that are going on this weekend. On Friday, Clash Wrestling. On Friday, Clash Wrestling will be having an event in Allen Park. It's their anniversary of the day, 14. Again, it's 7:30 in Allen Park. Don't have a lot of details on that. You can get more information from facebook.com/Clash Wrestling. That's CLASH. If I'm slurring my words, Clash. And then on Saturday, Metro Pro Wrestling will be in Southgate for Honor and Glory. That's March 3rd, March 12th, 7 p.m. Southgate, Metro Pro Wrestling, facebook.com/MPW Wrestling, excuse me. And then also on Saturday, the 12th, Sanctuary Fight Club will be presenting an event in Hamtramck, Michigan at 6 p.m. So at their last show, the main event pitted Karam against Silas Young to crown the first Thrash Zone champion. In the hard-fought Falls Count Anywhere no disqualification match, Karam was victorious. So after the match, Dickie Bronson challenged the new champ, and they will be wrestling. So that's Sanctuary Detroit. Well, it's at Sanctuary Detroit. That's Sanctuary Fight Club, 6 p.m. this Saturday, March 3rd in Hamtramck. You can get more information there at sanctuaryfightclub.com.
All right.
So those are the 3 events that we're aware of. If you have an event you want us to cover, please send us an email or you can send us the email info@wrestlingbytes.com or go to our website, thewrestlingbytes.com, and let us know.
Yeah,
I'd love to cover
for sure. Excellent. Well, what else do we have to add tonight? Anything else, or are we pretty much set?
I think that's pretty much it. I do have one correction I want to make from our last event. We were trying to figure out who wrestled whether Camille was married to Matt Cardona, and that is actually not Camille who's wrestled to Matt Cardona. It's Chelsea Green.
Chelsea Green, yeah. So all right. Well, I think that's about it.
I think so too. I don't really have anything else. I'm pulling up the video right now. You got me wondering on this Chelsea Green thing. I'm watching
like I said, it's gonna come out in the wash one way or another. So we'll find out in the future. I'll keep my eyes posted on the news, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, because Deanna does this kick thing where it looks like she breaks her left wrist, and then I want to say she puts on the finishing move on her right wrist.
Yeah, it's on the. It looks like it's on the opposite hand. So it could be a real injury. That's what I'm saying. It's speculatory till confirmed, but until now, that's what I'm going to go with until confirmed otherwise. So
it's a good story one way or the other.
The referee doesn't usually hold up an X sign when there's a fake injury on Impact. So,
well, and then they would also like stop the match almost immediately if there truly was, or at least go into
that's pretty much what. Yeah, they just went to the other arm. So,
yeah, I don't know. It's interesting to watch.
Yeah, so
go back and watch it if you haven't seen it.
Well, and I'll keep an eye on the news. I'm sure we'll have more on that.
She does grab that broken one. Yeah.
Yeah, so
it's a work. It's a work.
I don't know. We'll find out in the wash. It always comes out. So
yeah. Well, good stuff. I enjoyed being with you here today. I can't wait for that interview coming up.
Yeah. I'm hoping to finalize Jimmy Shaw in here soon. Hopefully, sometime this week we'll have him on. So
yeah, for sure.
So, that is the show, ladies and gentlemen. I thank everybody for coming and listening tonight. Thank everybody on all the networks that come in. Your support is greatly appreciated. Stay tuned also for Thursday's episode, where we'll be covering more national wrestling, and hopefully maybe we'll have an interview going. So,
yeah, and don't forget to check out the website, thewrestlingbytes.com, where you can get a list of all the upcoming wrestling events in the state of Michigan. You also give us feedback on the events that you went to, and you can give us tips and information about anything that you want to talk about. We enjoy reading your comments and feedbacks. So until we meet again, I ask you to please keep it between the ropes.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, and as always, you ain't got to go home, but you sure as hell can't stay here because I'm shutting the shop down. Have a wonderful night on behalf of myself and everybody that helps us out here at Wrestling Bytes Podcast. So pretty much Chris Young. I thank everybody for listening, and y'all have a wonderful night here on Wrestling Bytes Podcast.